So hello guys, welcome back. Myself Aryan and I am also back with one another video which is about the blood which circulates in our whole body. Okay, so let's get started without any delay. So as we see blood in this test tube that it is of dark red color. Okay, if we just zoom it on a microscopic level, so we will see that there are small cells like this one and this one which are floating in a substance. This is and that substance is plasma. Plasma. Okay, so this substance we are looking at is plasma, and in this plasma many cells, small cells like this are floating. So what are these cells and how what is this plasma? Let's see. There is a whole broad classification of blood, hierarchy of blood, how blood is classified. First is the plasma. Plasma is just a fluid, and the blood, 55% of blood is made up of plasma, and the other cells like these erythrocytes, leukocytes, thrombocytes, which are floating inside the blood, these are the rest of the 45, these form the rest of the 45% of blood cells, and these erythrocytes end up here, and that means there is no further classification. And if we see at these are also called RBCs and red blood cells. Okay, so and the other is thrombocytes or platelets, we can say. The whole blood, rest of blood, the whole blood cells in the RBCs come up with the 45% of concentration, and the leukocytes are in a very less concentration, means less than 1%, less than 1%. And the other thrombos the including thrombocytes and leukocytes, the blood comprises of less than 1%, and the RBCs comprise of 45%, and the plasma comprise of very big amount, which is 55%. Okay, so the leukocytes are further classified in two categories, which is agranulocytes and granulocytes. Okay, so agranulocytes, why they are named as granulo? So we will know that when we'll see the image of these cells. Okay, so I'll just read it for you that agranulocytes are further classified in lymphocytes and monocytes, and granulocytes are further classified in neutrophils, eosinophils, and basophils. So let's get ahead with our lecture. So this is the plasma. As you can see, it is of pale yellow color, and it consists of several organic and inorganic substances that such as glucose, proteins, and cholesterol, urea, hormones, vitamins, and inorganic salts. So as you can see that it consists of many things, so its functions will be so much that they are consisting of these much things. So their function is to transport these materials which it consists of: protein, glucose, and organic and inorganic salts, and cholesterol, this and urea. This plasma has the function to transport these material in the body, the places they refer to. Okay, so the glucose has to be transported in the tissues of the body, and the urea has to be transported to the urinary system or the kidneys of the body, and the cholesterol also has to be excreted out, and the salts also have to be transported, proteins also have to be transported in somewhere in the body. Okay, so this is the centrifuge blood. So what do you mean by centrifuge? Okay, there is a machine that is called centrifugator, and we just rotate the blood test tube very fastly, that the denser substance settles down in the test tube, and the less denser substance keeps floating in the test tube, upper side, and in the middle of this there is a buffy coat of the leukocytes and the platelets. So as I said that it comprises of less than 1% of the total blood, and plasma comprises of 55% of total blood, and erythrocytes, that are red blood cells, red blood corpuscles, they comprise of 45% of blood. Okay, so we will see in more detail about RBCs. So we'll take on RBCs and the shape. What is the shape of RBCs? This is like biconcave. And why they are biconcave, and what is biconcave? The shape is like this. If we see them in vertical section, the shape is somewhat like this. Okay, so this is biconcave. And why they are biconcave? Because they are enucleated, because nucleus is not present in them. Okay, and if we see them on the top view, they are perfectly circle in shape. Okay, so what's the function of RBCs? The function of RBCs is that to transport the respiratory gases from lungs to tissues and tissues to lungs. Okay, so from lungs to tissues, they have to transport the O2 gas, the oxygen gas, and from tissues to the lungs, they have to transport the carbon dioxide gas. Okay, and the RBCs are formed in the red bone marrow. These are formed in a red bone marrow, and this formation is called the hemiopoiesis. This formation of RBCs is called hemiopoiesis, and if we check on the count of RBCs in male and female, we will find a difference in them. So in males it is 5.5 to 5.5 million per mm of blood, per mm cube of blood, and in females it is 4.5 to 5 million per mm cube of blood. So why there is a difference in them? Because the requirements of males is much larger than the requirements of physical requirements of females. Okay, so this is why there is a difference in the RBCs count. And now why RBCs are red in color? Why they are in red color? Because they contain a pigment, a red colored pigment, which is hemoglobin. So now what is hemoglobin? Hemoglobin is just a red colored pigment which helps in the transportation of which helps RBCs in the transportation of these respiratory gases. And there is also a number of hemoglobin, a quantity of hemoglobin in males and females also. So the hemoglobin count is in males is 15 gram per 100 ml of blood, and in females is it 13 to 14 gram in females per 100 ml of blood. Okay, so this was all about the RBCs. And what if the RBCs count decreases than normal? What if it increases in normal? So in the case of decrease in RBCs, it is known as the erythrocytopenia. And in the case of increase in RBCs, abnormally increase in RBCs, it is known as polycythemia. And the average lifespan of RBCs is 120 days, and they go, and when they die, or we can say when they just are broken down, they are broken down in the spleen. That is also called the graveyard of RBCs, or we can say they break at two places, and in the spleen and in the liver. Spleen is also known as the graveyard of RBCs. So let's move ahead. Now we have the WBCs, or we can say the leukocytes. We are now talking about the WBCs. So there are five types of WBCs. These two are agranulocytes, and these three are granulocytes. And now by seeing the figure, we can now know that why they are called agranulocytes and granulocytes. In agranulocytes, no granules are present here. No granules are present in it. This is empty nucleus. Okay, and in granulocytes there are small granules. In some cells there is small, some cells there is big granules. There are granules present, that is why they are called granulocytes. So these WBCs are like the soldiers of the body. They fight against germs and viruses and etc. And First, let's look at this basophils. So these are bilobed sorry, not bilobed. Basophils have trilobed nucleus. As we can see that there is one lobe here, here is one lobe here, and this is one big lobe of the nucleus. So we can say that the nucleus of basophils is bilobed, and they have granules also inside it. And then the eosinophils, these are the bilobed nucleus. There are two lobes of nucleus, one here, as we can see in this figure, and in the this figure as we can see it is one here and one here. And these are also granulocytes as they have grains inside it. And then the neutrophils have the trilobed nucleus. They are, sorry, multi-lobed nucleus. They can have more than three lobes also. But in this figure there are three lobes of nucleus in the neutrophils, like here. And in this figure, one here, one here, one here. And then comes the monocyte. Monocytes have bean shaped nucleus, or we can say kidney shaped or bean shaped nucleus. In this we can see perfectly bean shaped nucleus and the microscopic image. And in this 3D image we can see there is a irregular bean shaped nucleus, but they have a bean shaped nucleus and they are agranulocytes. That is why they have a empty cytoplasm. Okay, so next comes the lymphocytes. Lymphocytes have a very big nucleus. At least very big part of the cell is covered by the nucleus itself. You can see in this image, and in this image also the cytoplasmic part is this much here only, and here in the side. And these are also agranulocytes, that is why they have an empty nucleus. And then let's move forward to the platelets. So what's the function of these platelets? These platelets have the function to just clot the blood. That suppose if we get an injury somewhere, so these platelets will come and they will combine with these bonds here. They will combine with each other with these bonds here and just fill this cut or any injury we have, fill this with these platelets, and the blood will stop flowing. Because, and why there are platelets? Because we cannot afford that so much loss of blood in our body, that let it. And because the blood is not produced that fastly as the rate it will at the rate it will be lost. So that is why clotting is required for the body. And there are just two types of platelets, that one is activated and one is deactivated. And they will also activate after some time and start acting, but as the requirement of the body, they are activated when there is a requirement. Okay, so we have come to this end of this lecture. Please like this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel for more related videos like this. And thank you for watching.